welcome to your demo of Total Body Train. My name's Kobe and I'm owner-operator of Empowered Fitness. Total Body Train is a strength-based workout where you can use dumbbells, kettlebells, bands, whatever extra weight you happen to have around the house, or if you're new to strength training, body weight is 100% okay too. If we're new to strength training, body weight's actually a good place to start while we get form, and then make sure that once the correct form is all sorted out, we can then progress to the weights. Once the correct form is sorted out, then we're less likely to injure ourselves later on. So if you're new to strength training, absolutely, body weight is all good. The idea of strength training is to push ourselves to the point of exhaustion in the muscles. So with each of the exercises that we do, I want us to go to the exhaustion point in the muscles. That way we know that we're actually building the muscle mass within the body. And if you're like me, and how I used to think about strength training, building muscle mass in the body isn't going to make you bulky. It isn't going to make you like a, Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of gal walking around with all these giant muscles. If that's not what you're after, this class is not going to get you that, even if that is what you're after. That's a whole different training system if you want giant muscles like that. What this is going to do for you is build muscle mass in the body, which will then help to counter the natural depletion of our muscle mass and joints that happen with age. That process happens earlier than you might think. It happens as early as, well, some people in their 20s, but typically more in the late 30s and then beyond. And it happens at quite a quick rate, about 1 pound per year after our 40s. So if we continue to build up muscle mass in the body, then we can continue to be independent and capable and powerful and strong and do all the things we want to do well into our later lives. So that's my little strength training spiel. And as well, if you're after fat loss, then strength training can help you to do that because it helps to speed up metabolism. It helps the body to process the stored fat that we have on our bodies more efficiently. So if fat loss is a goal of yours, then strength training is going to also help you with that. All right, without further ado, I'm going to kind of tell you what we're going to do here. Typically, I do a 35-minute total body train class. In that 35 minutes, there is a certain system of songs that I do because everything that I do, everything Empowered Fitness does is around music. That's just me. I need to have music to motivate me. If I work out without music, I just don't. It's just not something I do. So that's something else you'll get here is always music. So whether that music moves you and you want to kind of move your weights to the beat, that's cool. If you just want to have it going in the background, that's cool too. So we're going to go through 3 different songs. Typically I do about 5 or 6, but we're going to do 3. And there's 2 specific systems that I use within those songs. One is called PHA and it stands for peripheral heart action. And the other one is isometric holds. So this workout is a total body workout, and how that's going to work in the PHA is we're going to go from upper body to lower body, one right after the other. It's going to be the same upper body exercise and the same lower body exercise. We're going to do 2 sets of each, and each one of those is going to be so we can exhaust the muscle, and then it's going to recover while the other one works. So for example, while we're doing our reverse fly, our legs are going to be resting, and while we're doing our lunges, our arms and shoulders and upper body is going to be resting. So the idea there is that we can be more efficient with our time. We can do a full body workout in less time because we're not taking breaks in between the sets. We won't need to because the muscle group gets the break while the other muscle group is working. So that's one of them. PHA is one of the systems that I use. And then the other one I referred to was an isometric hold. So how that's going to work in total body is that we're going to be holding a position in the lower body while our upper body is working. So for today, we're going to be holding a side lunge, which is this, as we do a bicep curl. So the isometric hold is going to exhaust the muscle simply because it's having to hold that position for 45 seconds while our bicep gets a workout in there too. And then the last song, we're going to do a bit of core work, and then we'll do a cool down. So always with my classes, I start with the warm up because we need to prepare the body for exercise. I finish with a cool down because we need to signal the body that we're all finished, give it a little stretch, reduce the heart rate so that we don't plummet it later on. And that's that. So I will let you know that because we are doing both lower and upper body exercises, if you're using actual weights for those, you're gonna want to grab some weights for those. So we're gonna do lunges, which means that you'll need probably a heavier weight if you're using weights. And then we're gonna be doing upper body bicep curls as well as reverse flies. So bicep curls, whatever you want for your bicep muscle, whatever weight, usually it's a lighter weight. And then your reverse fly, that's going to be this position. So however, whatever you want for your upper back. So generally like a mid-grade or a mid-range weight as well. Potentially the same as the bicep, depending on where those muscles sit for their current strength level. And then for the core work, we won't need any extra weight. That's just going to be body weight on the mat. So grab your weights and we shall get started with our warm-up. All right, let's get started with the shoulders, rolling them up, back, and down. Just getting into that range of motion, the shoulders first of all. And then making it a little bit bigger by bringing the whole arms in. As you're here, check in with your breath. Make sure you're breathing, not holding the breath. Let's switch direction. Check in with the core. So when I say core, I don't just mean abs, I mean the entire muscle groups around the center of the body, which can include the hips as well, or does include the hips as well. But right now we're gonna focus on these muscle groups here, connecting in to support us. Breathe. Let's get into the side body here too. Our warm-up is meant to get the blood flowing through the body. It's meant to get some range of motion into the joints in the body. So our muscles get the oxygen that they need from the blood. Coming down into just a gentle lunge side to side. So check in with this lunge position. We're gonna be in it later when we do that isometric hold. When we sit the hips back, we want the heel to be planted in. So let's just get a taste for what that is now. I will explain it later as well, but let's just get a taste for what that is right now. As we get the blood to those muscles in the legs. Now a gentle jog. If you're feeling this in the ankles a little too much, feel free to stop and give them a rotation. Maybe a couple circles on each side. Depending on what you did today or what you've done yet today, your body might need a little extra support. Maybe it's new, maybe you're in the morning, or maybe you've been sitting at a desk all day or behind the wheel all day, or if your body's been stationary all day, it might need a little more support to get going. Let's bring that jog up a little bit. Maybe kick the butt. Breathe. Let's set up a lunge position. We're going to be in this position later, so let's get this one ready to go. So that front heel is planting into the floor as that front knee tracks over that ankle. Yeah, let's switch to that other side. Now the other foot's at the front, so we get to plant that heel into the floor. Breathe. All right, maybe we'll open up the hips a little bit. Okay, so for our first song, our first two exercises are going to be pulse lunges and reverse flies, and then we'll potentially have a little surprise shoulder press in at the end. So for our lunge, we did just finish in that position, so it's I'm just going to verbalize what this is all about here now. So we are at about a distance apart between the front and the back foot that you can come down, and the legs will be about at a 90-90. If your lunge is up here, because that's where your muscle mass is at this point, that is totally cool. I am here for you wherever you're at. But we just don't want that front knee going over the front toe. See how my heel's lifting back there? That's not what we want. We want to shift it back a little bit so that front heel is connecting. And we want a big enough step. See, when it's not a big enough step, see how that front knee, it's all awkward, and it really, over time, your knee is not going to be happy with you. So we want to make sure that we've got a big enough space between those front and back feet that when you come on down, your chest is up. Instead of this, we're here. Yeah, that's what we want. And then front on, another little tip here, rather than be one foot behind the other, that tends to be tricky for balance, we'll space those out a little bit more, hip distance apart or even a little bit wider. And then when you sink on down, you'll have a more solid foundation so that won't be a little tippy position for you. All right, our next exercise, because this is part of that PHA that I talked about. So we're going to do, that's our lower body exercise, and then we're going to do an upper body exercise as well, which is going to be a reverse fly. So standing about hip width apart, side on, we're going to tip over, connect the core in, tip over, and then we're going to take some weights down by the side and then pull them up to about shoulder height, feeling that squeeze in around the shoulder blades area. So front on, here's where we're at. Pulling up. Slight bend in the elbow. We don't want a hyperextension here. We want to bend in there. And then we'll squeeze the shoulder blades together as we come up to the top. Those are our two. So let's grab what we need for those. We're going to start off with the lunges. I'm going to put our timer on for 45 seconds. We're going to do 45 seconds of one exercise, then the other one, and then back and again. So we'll do each exercise twice. And remember how I said when the lower body's working, the upper body's resting, and vice versa. Super efficient way to work out. Let's get our music on. Grab what you need for your lunges, and we're going to pulse down there. I'm going to pulse to the music. If you're feeling that, you go for that too. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and push on up. With the push, you can add an exhale. Inhale on the way down, and exhale during the effort. Yes. We will do 45 seconds with the other leg in front too. 10 more seconds, we got it. Check the form, chest is up. Heel on that front foot is really planting in. Nicely done. Let's go for that reverse fly. Grab what you need for the back in those shoulder blades. Grab your weights. I'm gonna get rid of that fuzziness. There we go. Exhale with the effort. I'm gonna show you side on a little something that my body tends to do. I tend to sway out, but we don't want that. We wanna make sure that the spine is neutral. See that difference there with that straight spine versus the sway? We don't want the sway. Nicely done. 5 more seconds. Awesome. Now back to that lunge. This time we want the other foot in front. We got to have the other foot in front so we're even. 3, 2, 1, and push. You know what? I didn't switch. 3, 2, 1, and push. Often we can feel, that's what just happened to me. I could feel that, wait, that was the one I did last time. Remember to exhale with the effort. And then coming down as low as you can, because our goal here is to exhaust the muscle groups. That's how we get that muscle mass, that muscle growth. I know it's loud when I breathe into there, but that's more like an audio cue. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Back to that reverse fly. One more set. Yeah. You got it. Using control as you bring these weights up, yes? We don't want them flailing around. We want control on the up and the down. Nicely done. We're almost there. 2 more. Now to finish, we're gonna go for a shoulder press. I think we'll only get a couple in here. 2 more. 2 more to finish. I still hear whistling. That means the song's not over. All right. Grab yourself a quick drink while I explain the next one. So we generally do, in a total body train class, we generally do 2 of those songs where we actually do the PHA for 2 different songs. Since this is a demo, I'll do 1 of them so you have an idea of what it's like. And the other version we do is that isometric hold. So for this particular isometric hold, because I change up the exercises all the time, but today's one, we're gonna go in a side lunge. So what that means is that the leg that's bent, the leg you're leaning into, is the one that's working, and this one's kind of just hanging out for some balance. As we're here, we're gonna place the elbow kind of around the thigh area, and then we're gonna go for a bicep curl here. So as you hold this for 45 seconds, you get some good reps in with the bicep, but then that leg and that glute gets good and exhausted in that muscle there too. And of course, we will do both sides of those as well. So that's our one exercise, and the other one is going to be a squat. So we're gonna hold a squat, and as we hold that squat, we're gonna straight arm, bring it back, to get the tricep in there. So we're gonna do both triceps. See how I got that sway? Let's get rid of that. We're gonna bring both triceps back with control, so we know that muscle's working and it's not momentum, right? All right, so grab what you need for your bicep. We're gonna hold that side lunge. No, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should. All right, let's do it. Somebody at home. It's been a long night here and a long night. Feel that heel planting into the floor. That's what's supporting you. So you keep going. I'm gonna show you side on what this is looking like. So we want those hips really seated back. So similar to when we were talking about that other lunge, we want the knee over the foot, not over the toe, but more over the ankle, right? Ooh, yeah. Whatever speed's working for you for that bicep curl. We got 2 more. Beauty. Okay, let's do the other side. Other leg, other bicep. So lean on in. If you find that you have pain in the elbow for this one, sometimes I do, just kind of switch the direction that the weight is. So when your palm is facing up, if you find that you have some pain in the elbow, you can turn the palm to face you. So it's actually the weight then that's going kind of towards the ceiling and towards the floor. Sitting back in that lovely heel. Exhale with the effort. Yeah. 1 more. Nicely done. Okay, so grab what you need for your triceps now. We're gonna hold a squat, and we're gonna bring those arms straight out behind us. So whatever you need for a squat, or for triceps, I should say, sit down in that squat, and then bring those arms back and forth with control. The more weight you have, the more it's gonna be tricky to bring those weights up higher. Feel free to sit down in that squat a little lower too. And find that position, that balance position with the upper body. Just make sure you got that core really tucked in too, yeah? Exhale. Almost there. Nicely done. Guess what? We're gonna do pop squats to the end. options here. Or lower impact, there's always a modification to the end. Woo, you got it to the end. I gave you a little surprise. I didn't tell you we were doing this, did I? Oh yeah, nicely done. We're headed to the floor now. Grab a drink of water, grab a deep breath. We're coming down to the floor. We got one more song to go. Our core song has 3 different exercises in it, all meant to work different parts of our core. So as I was saying before, our core is more than just our abdominals. It's all of that center section that helps us with stability. So we're going to be doing an up-down plank. And what I mean by that is we're going to start off up on the hands, and then we're going to go down onto the elbow, the other elbow, and then up again. Option to come down to the knees and do the exact same thing, down and then up. And we want to make sure that we're not here, because that's not really doing anything for the core, is it? It's a nice tabletop position, but we want those hips forward. We want the wrists under the shoulders, feeling that nice foundational support, and then we'll come down from there. Next, we have a reverse crunch. So a reverse crunch, we're gonna have the arms down for support if you need, or you can have them up here instead. It's a slight little action that you're just gonna push the heels up towards the ceiling. It's a slight little action targeting the lower abdominals specifically. The reason I want the palms up when you have your arms out is so that we know that it's actually not the hands that are pushing you up, because we tend to want to do that because we want to get a little higher. But honestly, the height is not where it's at. It's about using those muscles in the middle to control that lift. If you want to, you can have the arms up here, then you know for sure that they're not actually helping. If you do need them for stability, that's totally cool, put them down, but have the palms facing up. And then the last one, we're gonna do a star hold. So star hold is gonna be arms and legs up, pulling, contracting, bringing that belly button in towards the spine. As a modification, you can rest one hand down, the other hand down, one leg down, the other leg down. You can kind of do variations of what you need to support you. If you have a bad back, you want to really watch that and make sure that you're using the front of the core, pulling that belly button in, and then giving yourself the modifications that you may need for that. And that's that. Let's go for it. Let's get in that plank position. Excuse me. We're going to go 45 seconds of all these too. So up, up, and down, down. I like to go to the beat on this one. It's not a quick beat, so it's kind of nice. Doesn't feel like there's any sort of rush. The beauty with this move, this exercise, is that we're working the core, but we're also working the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the triceps. Almost there. 5 more seconds. Nice, let's roll it over. Reverse crunches. It's a slight little action. Imagining that you're reaching your heels up to the ceiling. Like you're trying to make a heel print up there. Whatever speed you want these, that is up to you. Arms down for support if you need. Palms facing up. We're almost there. 5 more seconds. Well done. Roll it over. into that star. Pull that belly button in towards the spine. Arms and legs up. Finding a neutral position for your neck here too. So we don't want to gaze up. We want to gaze forward, like straight in front of you. So while you're here, focus on that belly button, but also, warning, TMI perhaps, imagine you're stopping a pee as well. Like midstream, just make it stop. That'll help to bring the muscles contracting together that we want to strengthen. All right, now let's flip this star over. We're gonna do this one to the end. Nicely done. Now let's stretch it long. We get to stretch and relax.
You know how I feel.
Reach the arms overhead.
Sun in the sky.
And breathe. Every inhale stretches the muscles a little bit longer, a little bit farther, a little bit deeper.
You know how I feel. It's a new dawn.
Bring the knees into the body. Hold on to those for a second.
It's a new life.
Maybe rock side to side if that feels good for your spine.
And I'm feeling.
Let's outstretch the arms from the body. And then gently bring the legs over to one side into a spinal twist. Stretching that open top side of the body all the way out. Into the chest, into the core, perhaps even the lower back, the hips, maybe even down the outside of the leg. Let's take a couple nice deep breaths here. And then on the next inhale, exhale and bring those legs with control and strength and an engaged core over to the other side. And we'll give this side a nice good stretch too. All the stretches we do at the end are kind of just little tasters. They're more just to get an idea of where we might want to stretch more later on. Your body will give you those clues.
That's what I mean.
Bring the knees back center. The body will let you know when something feels extra juicy, extra good, extra stretchy. That's your body's message, letting you know that you need more of that one. So take note of which ones are those. Let's come on up to the seat. We're gonna come into a 90-90 position. So the front leg's in a 90 degrees, the back leg's in a 90 degrees, and then we're gonna lean on forward as far as feels good for you. If this is where it feels good for you, hang out there. If you need a little deeper to feel good, then hang out there. There is no good or bad. It's just what you need. It's just what your body needs, your unique body. Check in with that back leg. Make sure that that back leg is relaxed. This tends to be where I need to remind myself to relax that back leg. It tends to hold on for some reason. So just check in, make sure that the back, hip flexor and thigh are actually not tensed. One more breath here, and then we're gonna switch to the other. Let's get into that other side. Leaning as far forward as feels right. And I'm feeling good. Again, check in with that back leg. Is it relaxed? Oh, I love this stretch. It is so good. I do this one for a long time at the end of every day. Never seems to be quite enough, though. Typically, if we can hold a stretch for 90 seconds, it not only gets into the muscle, but it gets into the fascia, that tissue around the muscle, that often is our biggest issue because it doesn't have enough flexibility. Let's reach on over to one side for a moment. Reach long. And then the other. And then in behind, let's stretch the chest out. We worked it, so we got to stretch it. While we stretch, breathe as well. Bring the oxygen in to repair those muscle tissues. Thank you so much for joining me for this Total Body Train demo. Typically, classes are about 35 minutes, and we do double what we did, allowing for some good muscle mass build. And I also teach a class called Pound, which is a drumstick cardio / leg workout. And I teach a class that is an interval cardio class, bodyweight class called Strong 30. There'll be demos of both of those here as well that you can check out. I teach a dance fitness, cardio class, dance fitness class called the B class. I won't have a demo of that one because I don't have permission to do that. However, I do teach that one on a weekly basis too. So you can check out the B class online and see what that's all about. Thank you once again for joining me. And if you ever have any questions about anything that I do, I'm Kobe. I'm with Empowered Fitness, owner operator, the only person in Empowered Fitness. So you can reach out to me if you have any questions about any of that. I will be offering a membership that includes these fitness classes as well as some nutrition and lifestyle workshops as well. So if that's something that you feel like you might want to help you along your fitness and nutrition and maybe weight loss or maybe maintenance or just to feel darn good goals, then that is available to you as well. Thank you so very much. We will see you again. Bye for now.